Howdy guys, how's it going? How's it hanging? Left or right, down the center, straight down the middle? So, today I have a video for you. A little bit on the controversial, blah, blah, I cannot speak today. A little bit on the controversial side, but it's something that I've always felt really strongly about, and it's something that I've, I don't know. I've been meaning to make a video about it, but it's just, I haven't had the time, I haven't really had the right moment. But then, I stumbled upon this video. Right here. This one. This guy. Right there. So, that guy was accused of sexual assault when he was 20 and was put away for 16 years and was exonerated, finally, when he was 61. Falsely accused. This guy was put away for 16 years for a crime he did not commit. Right? Did not commit. This is a problem. Can I just say that? This is a... It blows my mind, because I see shit like that, and it just makes me wonder, how in the hell, in today's society, can somebody be put away for something that they didn't do? And, like I said, it's gonna be jumping around all over the place, so apologize if this video is really disconnected and kind of rambly and random. But, first thing that I'm gonna kinda go after is this whole movement that we have lately. I've seen it called a bunch of different things. I've seen it called metoo. I've seen it called believe women. There's a bunch of names for it. I've seen a bunch of different people talk about it. And overall, it's a great movement. I think with a lot of the movements that we have today in today's society, they start out well-intentioned, and they have some really good points, and they mean well, at least at first. But with anything, there's a lot of flaws. The Me Too movement is a good movement. I think it really helps to normalize or destigmatize talking about being a survivor of sexual assault. I think it makes people who've been through that a little bit more comfortable to speak out with their story and get help, and not feel ashamed of it. And I think it has a lot of really good qualities. I think it does a lot of good. It's definitely overall a good movement, right? I'm not bashing it on anything like that. That's not what's going on. But there's an unintended side effect and a consequence that I feel that all of these things, not just specifically the Me Too movement, but I mean maybe just like lately in society with everything that's going on, there's an unintended side effect and an unintended consequence. I mean, with all of these call-outs that are going on, the speaking out, people speaking out, telling people, oh, this happened to me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, he did this to me 6 months ago, or a year ago, or however long ago, and then trying to get justice for things that happened in the past. I'm not saying that I'm obviously not saying that any of that stuff is okay. I'm not saying that, if you were a survivor or something like that, that is awful, and I truly hope that you get justice for what happened to you, and nobody should have to go through that. But there's an issue with it there, because I see on YouTube and on Google, and I see all these stories coming out about people like the guy that I showed you earlier being exonerated for being wrongly convicted for something that they didn't do because they got accused of sexual assault, and people, that whole believe women, they got arrested, they went to jail, and then you find out that either she lied or she got his face wrong and it wasn't actually that guy, or for whatever reason, it wasn't him, but he went to jail anyways for it. And I just kind of don't understand how that can happen. In a court of law, right, the US court of law says innocent until proven guilty. And how do they go to jail if all the woman is doing is accusing him with no proof? Like, how can you go to jail innocent until proven guilty if you're not proven guilty? I have a problem with this. I have a problem with this whole thing, because it ruins lives. And I think that's what a lot of people, women in particular, take for granted, because people be throwing out accusations for shit like this like candy nowadays sometimes. And regardless if it's true, and I'm gonna come across as really harsh, you can come at me, I don't care. Regardless if it's true or not, you have to have proof for your claims and your accusations. If you're going to accuse somebody of something as serious And it is serious. That shit ruins lives. That ruins reputations. It breaks families apart. It is very serious. If you're going to accuse somebody of a crime as serious as something like rape or sexual assault, you have to prove it. You have to have proof to back up your claims. So I see these people that are accusing people 6 months, a year, fucking 5 years down the line, and coming out with, ever since, a lot of people are speaking up, and there's all these people telling their stories. There's nothing wrong with telling your story. But there is definitely something wrong with trying to get somebody thrown in jail or thrown in prison for something that either they didn't do and you know they didn't do it, or something that you can't prove. It's harsh, and it's a harsh reality. But if you are assaulted, you have to go to the hospital. You have to. Don't change your clothes. Go get the evidence that you need to put somebody away, to put your attacker in jail, right? Go get the evidence. It sucks, but if you don't go and get that evidence, the proof that you need to prove that it happened, I'm sorry, boo-boo. Like, you can't just keep make these accusations. And what I mainly have an issue with is that women make accusations for shit that never even happened, too. Say, if you break up with somebody, or say people, for whatever reason, you hear a lot of bullshit stories. I read a story, some of you might know what I'm talking about, but a woman accused somebody of this teenager in high school, right? This high schooler accused somebody of sexual assault in high school that he didn't do. He didn't do anything, never touched the girl, right? But she accused him of sexual assault. He got put on a sex offender registry. He went to jail, all this other bullshit. And then years later, after this man has this has ruined his life, right? She comes out and says that she made the whole thing up because she didn't like the guy. How does somebody's life get ruined for bullshit reasons? I don't know. I have a problem with it, and I think a part of the problem is nobody, especially, and it's tough, it's hard, but when it comes to things like rape and sexual assault, nobody ever wants to say, oh, you were assaulted? Prove it. Nobody ever wants to say, I don't believe you. And you shouldn't, but sometimes, and it's a harsh fucking reality, you can't just take somebody's word as law, as it sucks that it happened to you, but go to the hospital, get your proof, get your evidence, and then go press charges and put somebody away. Put the right person away, right? If it happened to you, go get your evidence. I think mostly I just don't understand how people can be making false accusations and then you actually get put away with it. Because if there's no proof, it blows my mind. I think that's a massive problem. The first problem lies in the woman who makes the false accusations to begin with, because a false accusation for something like that should be a punishable offense. If a woman makes a false accusation, knowingly lied about it or anything like that, knowingly tries to ruin somebody's life, that should be a crime. That should be a false accusation, and she should go spend the time in prison that he would have gotten if he would have gotten convicted. I absolutely believe that. And then the second part of it lies in the legal system and the justice system that we have for actually convicting people and putting people away with absolutely zero proof and zero evidence, just based off of her word. Because when you do that, and when you start putting people away and actually entertaining things like this, where there's no proof, there's no video footage, there's no physical evidence, there's no nothing. It becomes a he said, she said thing versus the woman's word and the guy's word. And 90% of the time, that is women privilege. 90% of the time, the woman wins and the guy gets put away for something that he never did. And lives get ruined, and it's bullshit. And I think it's a problem, and it needs to stop. We need to start asking more questions and start, taking accusations like this way more seriously, because like I said, people be out here ruining lives and not thinking anything of it. And you want to know, this dude, this one right here, that guy, he got exonerated and he broke down in tears because he said he couldn't even describe it. There was no words for it, the relief that he felt that he finally was exonerated all those years later for something that he never did. He was 61. Okay, and you know what the lady did? She was this best-selling author, Alice Sebold or some shit. All she got, she gave him an apology. She said she was sorry for falsely accusing him, for ruining some man's life, and all he gets is an apology? Ugh, that's bullshit. She should be put in jail. She should be punished for ruining somebody's life. Sorry, I'm on a little bit of a rant here. It's bullshit. it's accusations like that should be taken very, very seriously, and they should be absolutely proven. Like proof, irrefutable evidence that it happened. Or, like, because otherwise, you're ruining somebody's life by something that never happened. Like, that's just, I just don't understand it. I think we need to be asking the women more questions. I think we need to be harsher about it. If something like that happens, if you're making an accusation, get your proof. Wait, proof, or it never happened. Because, it's just, like, where's that man's justice? That man was put away and his life was ruined, and where's his justice? The only justice he got was an apology. Like, she apologized. Like, I would feel, if I got put away for something that I didn't do for years, can you only imagine, like, the anger and the rage you would feel rotting away in a prison cell for something you never did? Oh my god, it's a problem. And I think it's something that I think needs to be taken a lot more seriously than it is. Because like I said, people be throwing out accusations like candy, and that's just not okay. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. Women out here fucking around and ruining people's lives, and I think it needs to be treated differently than it is, at least. I don't know. I think it's a problem. What do you guys, what do you guys think? I mean, there's probably people who are going to agree with me and disagree, but it's just, I don't know. I mean, the thought goes through my head, it's like, where's that man's justice? I mean, his entire life was ruined. I mean, when he got out, he couldn't even get a job. He was on a fucking sex offender registry. I mean, where's his justice? His life was ruined. And now he's 61 years old, trying to live out the rest of it as peacefully and calmly as he can, to the best of his ability. But, dude, years and years of people's lives are being ruined because women are out here making accusations. And I don't mean to blanket statement everyone, right? Because obviously this shit happens, and people who do commit those crimes need to be castrated, and they should be put away in jail like where they belong, I'm talking about the women who make false accusations, specifically. It's just, like, it's a horrible crime, and that's just not accusations that you just throw around like candy. It's just not something you fuck with. Okay, it's serious, and I think it needs to be treated seriously, and I think women need to be, asked more questions about it. Because just believe all women. That's bullshit, bro. Some of the best liars and manipulators that I know are women. It's just like, why would you believe all women? No, that is, that's the worst advice I had ever heard in my entire life. Believe all women. I mean, don't ever berate somebody or make someone feel bad for something that happened, but you have to prove it. Am I the only one who thinks that? I mean, I can't be the only one who thinks that. It's a crime, just like any other crime. You have to prove it. Otherwise, you can't just walk into some place and say, hey, that man stole from me. And like, okay, what did he steal? And it's like, he stole my fucking all this other shit. Like, okay, can you prove it? Do you have him on camera? I mean, where's your proof? You have to prove it. And that a sexual assault crime is no different than any other crime, and it shouldn't be treated as such. And I feel like it is. I feel like so many people just take women's word for it, and people's lives get ruined. And not to mention that, I mean, like, imagine, like, I mean, that affects people's jobs. I mean, even if they don't go to jail for it. I mean, going out, say, accusing somebody publicly of something like sexual assault is crazy, and it's serious, right? I mean, like, I don't mean to say that it's crazy, but, like, it's not something that you just accuse someone of. And I feel like people be fucking around with that shit, and I don't know. It's a problem. It needs to be fixed. And I guess that's what I said my piece. I guess. I don't know. It's an issue. It's an issue. And I think it's an issue that needs to be solved. I think one of the first steps that needs to happen is that if it's proven that a woman intentionally falsely accused someone, then I think she deserves some sort of punishment and jail time for that. Because, or something, some form of punishment. It needs to be a punishable offense to falsely accuse someone intentionally, because that shows malicious intent, You can't be getting away with that kind of shit. You can't, right? And I think that starting out with making it a punishable offense would be at least a start, you know, some form of a deterrent for these people who just want to be fucking around and don't realize the consequences of their actions when they accuse people of things like that. That ruin lives. It ruins people's lives. And I don't know. It's just, I just think about that. Like, the absolute rage. Like, all-consuming rage that I would feel if I was put in jail with no proof for something that I never did. Because then I'd be sitting in there and I'd be thinking, man, there's no proof. They never proved anything. And I think they even stated it in the video that you know, you're just thinking, okay, well, I'm in here. This is bullshit. It's all gonna work out. They're gonna figure out that I didn't do it because I know I'm innocent, right? And then weeks, months go by and nothing changes, and then you're just stuck there, sitting, rotting in jail with a realization that you got put away for something that you never did. And where's your fucking justice, huh? Where's your justice? I would be so pissed. That'd be an all-consuming rage. And it's just, I don't know, it's just wrong. That's just wrong, and I think that it's something that we need to take way more seriously. I don't know, that's just my thoughts on it. I mean, it's a crime just like any other crime, and you can't just say, well, it's true because I said so. No. You gotta prove it, okay? Prove it! Hardcore evidence, people. Please. Because this shit it was avoidable. Like, all this shit is avoidable. I don't know, that's just the thing that kills me. Because, I mean, I think that guy got exonerated because the woman who accused him, like I said, she was an author, and then her publicist or some shit read the book that she wrote about it, and he noticed, like, holes in her story or some shit, so he hired a private investigator to investigate whether or not, like, she either lied about it or it was true. But yeah, there were holes in her story that she wrote about it, and a private investigator did the right, you know, this guy hired a private investigator and did the right thing, and ended up getting this guy exonerated after 40 years. It's just, it was preventable. Like, if they had just, I don't know. You know? It's just, it's bullshit, and it needs to happen. We need to start talking about that. Like, I mean, yeah, people need to speak out, and there's nothing wrong with, you know, telling your story and getting justice, you know, if something happens to you. But I think we also need to talk about the people who take advantage of that, and women who know their power, who know that making accusations like that, they can ruin lives, and use that maliciously, can't speak, to intentionally go out and fuck up people's lives that they don't like. I mean, mothers accusing, like, fathers of things to keep them away from their children in the divorce. I mean, it's just, you hear all sorts of stories about this shit, and it's absolutely ridiculous. We need to talk about those people and the punishment that they deserve for making this shit up. And like I said, ruining lives. Okay, that should be a crime. It should be a crime to accuse someone of something they didn't do knowingly and maliciously, intending on fucking shit up for them. That's all I'm saying. We need to ask those people questions. We need to turn this shit around. Alright, we have all these movements for women to get their justice, but now we need to turn it around. We need to start getting the justice for the people who are wrongly accused. Like, I said this was going to be a short video. It's already 20 minutes long. I don't know. I said my piece. That's all I'm coming up here to say. You know me. I don't care who I piss off. I don't care who I offend. You can agree with me or you can not agree with me. All I'm saying is that there's questions to be asked. And we should not just automatically believe people. Like, you should never tell somebody, nah, you're lying, it didn't happen. You shouldn't do that. But you can't just accuse someone of something and trying to get your justice with no proof. You have to prove it. You have to prove it. It's a crime. It has to be proven. You can't just throw people in jail based off the word of some woman who might be an angry ex. It might be their friend who just doesn't like them. Like I said, that one thing in high school that happened with that one story. Like, you never know who these people are. I don't know. It's a crime. It needs to be proven. I've said my piece. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, because like I said, this is a controversial topic, but I think it needs to be talked about, because, like, fucking shit like this dude, look at him. He broke down in tears, dude, and I don't blame him. Like, this shit just should not be allowed to happen. We have the technology. It, I don't know. Like I said, it shouldn't happen. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What you guys think about this Believe Women movement, about everything like that. I think there's a lot of issues that that need to be addressed that, you know, people don't really talk about as much as it should be talked about. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. It was a controversial take by your gal Salty Alty. So yeah, anyways, you guys have a good day. I will catch you guys on the next random video that I decide to put up with all my controversial shit. So anyways, you guys have a good day. I'll catch you later. So goodbye.